could break up with you like that.
No, but he's right, isn't he? I mean, it's not fair to move forward with him if I still have feelings for someone else.
There's a lot more to loving someone than just saying the words. I'm not sure you understand that.
Sullivan's Crossing just ended its penultimate episode of season 4 with the most infuriating final scene it has ever produced. And I mean infuriating in the most complimentary possible way. Because Maggie Sullivan spent this entire episode finding her way back to Cal Jones. She gave Liam his closure. She let go of the guilt she has been carrying since episode 1. She walked across the crossing to the man she loves and told him, "I have only ever loved you." And Cal Jones looked her in the eye and told her to pack her things. I honestly could not believe what I was watching. And I think that is exactly how this episode wanted us to feel. Let's talk about everything that happened and we can work it out. Why Maggie's decision in this episode is the bravest thing she has done in 4 seasons. Why Cal's final line is not as simple as it looks. What the accident in the middle of the episode actually cost both of them. And why that Spain line at the end of Maggie and Liam's conversation is the most important thing said between those two people all season. Because this episode did not just move pieces around the board. It changed what the board looks like entirely. And the finale has 1 episode to pick up every single thing this one left broken on the floor. First, where everyone is when the episode begins. Cal broke up with Maggie off screen between episode 8 and 9. And Maggie is sitting with Edna and Sydney trying to make sense of it. And she says something that tells us exactly why this situation has been so impossible for her all season. She says, "I made a promise to Liam when we got married. I walked away from that promise once, and I cannot do it again." And I honestly respect that line more than almost anything Maggie has said this season. Because this is not a woman who cannot commit. This is a woman who takes commitment so seriously that even the ghost of a broken one has been standing between her and the man she loves for months. Maggie's problem was never Cal. It was her own integrity turned against her. Meanwhile, Cal is not eating breakfast that Sedona made. He is not interested in talking. And when Sedona, who has been the most honest voice in this entire storyline, asks him if he is going to fight for Maggie, he says he already said everything he needed to say. And then he tells her she should not be lecturing him right now, and I want to be direct about that. Cal Jones in this episode is a man whose pride is running faster than his love. And Sedona sees it, and so does everyone watching. And so will he eventually, but not before he does something that is going to take the entire finale to undo. Liam finds out from Frank, not from Maggie, that Cal ended things. He did not hear it from Maggie. He heard it from Frank at the outpost while picking up milk. And Frank asks him directly, "Are you going to move to the crossing for her?" And Liam says, "If that is what it takes." And Frank tells him to give it serious thought because he does not want to see Maggie hurt again. And I honestly love Frank Cranebear for that conversation because he is not choosing sides. He is protecting someone he loves from a situation that has more moving parts than anyone has been willing to count. Now, the four-wheeling. And this is the scene that matters more than it looks on the surface. Lamb takes Maggie out because Maggie needs something. Some movement, some air, something that is not the walls of the crossing closing in around her while 2 men figure out what to do with their feelings. And Maggie goes. And somewhere on that trail, Liam says something that opens a window into everything that went wrong between them. He says, "I remember you used to love doing exciting things." And Maggie says, That was you. I just wanted to be with you. And he says, I did not realize that. And that exchange is the entire history of Maggie and Liam Sullivan in 2 sentences. A woman who shaped herself around someone else's energy so completely that he never understood she was doing it. A man who loved an idea of her that was partly his own projection. And neither of them seeing it until years of damage had already been done. A dog runs out Maggie, crashes. She goes to the hospital, and Cal shows up. And for about 30 seconds, with Cal walking into that hospital room and telling Maggie he is glad she is okay, I honestly thought this episode was going to give us a resolution. I thought the accident was going to be the thing that cracked Cal's pride open, and then Liam walks in with flowers, and Cal looks at the 2 of them, and he leaves. Without a word, without hearing any context, without waiting to understand what Maggie and Liam actually were on that trail. And I want to say something about that. Cal leaving without waiting is not just hurt feelings. It is a choice. He chose not to find out. Because if he finds out, if he asks, he might have to let go of the reason he is holding back. And Cal Jones is not ready to do that yet. Liam takes Maggie home, and what follows is the most important conversation of the entire season. Maggie gets the divorce papers. She gets the photograph from the wedding, and she looks at both of them and tells Liam the truth. She says the woman in that photograph is no longer her, and it might not have ever really been her. Liam says what we had was real, and Maggie says that is past. And then she says something that gives this entire storyline the weight it deserves. She says, if you had not come back, I would have carried that anger for the rest of my life. You gave me closure. And they say goodbye. And Maggie says they will always have Spain. And I want to stop there. Because Spain is not a throwaway line. It is a specific and private piece of their history that belongs entirely to them. Something that happened before everything went wrong, before Liam disappeared, before the hostage situation and the scars and the year that was never explained. Spain is the version of Maggie and Liam that was real before the damage. And she is giving it back to him, saying, that was good. That was ours. And now it is done. Liam files the divorce papers and leaves. And Maggie walks to Cal's place and she tells him, Liam is gone. The papers are filed. She was holding back because of him. Cal was right about that. And then the accident happened. And she thought she would never see Cal again. And that is when she knew. She says, I have only ever loved you. And Cal says, there is more to loving someone than saying the words. I am not sure you understand that. And then he tells her to pack her things, and the episode ends. Now, what does that line actually mean? Because this is the question the entire fandom is sitting with right now. And I think the answer is more complicated than it first looks. Cal is not done with Maggie. A man who is truly done with someone does not say, I am not sure you understand what it means to love someone. He says goodbye. He says nothing. Cal is saying something. He is saying, I needed to see you fight for this the way I have been fighting for it. And Maggie showing up at his door the night Liam leaves is, in Cal's mind, the bare minimum. Because Cal has been present and consistent and fully there for months. And Maggie has been half in and half out. And even if that half was rooted in genuine moral conflict rather than ambivalence, Cal experienced it as ambivalence. And he is not going to let one conversation after one accident undo 4 months of feeling like he was not enough. And the pack your things line. There are 2 ways to read it. Cal is telling her to move out of wherever she is staying that belongs to him or the crossing's property. He is creating physical distance because he needs to think. He is not saying, I never want to see you again. He is saying, I need you to not be right here while I figure out if I can trust this. But there is also the possibility, and the rumors around Chad Michael Murray and his future on this show have been present all season, that Cal is done, that this is not a pause but an ending. And if Cal leaves Sullivan's Crossing in the finale, if he truly walks away, then Maggie giving up Liam for a man who was already packing his own bags is going to be one of the most devastating endings this show has ever produced. The season 4 finale airs next Monday on the CW. Episodes are free to stream on the CW app the same day. Seasons 1 through 3 are on Netflix right now. And after everything this penultimate episode built, after Maggie's goodbye to Liam, after that hospital room, after that pack your things, I honestly think the finale is either going to give us everything we have been hoping for since Liam walked through the crossing door in season 3, or it is going to break us in a way this show has never broken us before. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think Cal is done with Maggie for good? Or do you think he just needs the finale to understand that she finally, fully, completely chose him? Because after everything we watched in this episode, I honestly cannot tell. And I think that is exactly where this show wanted us to be.